Alright guys, what is going on? Welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be probably a pretty highly anticipated video, pretty highly requested video. And that is because I'm about to tell you guys how my first ever try at an American football gridiron training went. It was 2 days ago. I went on Wednesday. Today's Friday. It's Friday morning. Yesterday I made some other videos, which you'll see. Some reactions I did, but I didn't want to make this one because I wanted to just digest it just a little bit more. And, you know, I have been thinking about plans and future plans and what position I'd want to go for and things like that, because the reality is that I have had a taste of it now. I've had my first taste of American football, training at least. But they did run some scrimmages. I didn't actually run in the proper, hard scrimmages, but I watched, and so I saw where the running back set up, I saw where the tight end set up, I saw where, if the running back moved over here, then his linebacker would move across and target him, I saw some good players, But let's talk about my experience. I have written down a couple of notes, I don't want to leave anything out. So with that said, my first thought was, first thought after the training, the amount of times I had to put the helmet on, pull it off, I cannot have long hair and play football. There's just no way. It's not fucking worth it. If I was going to start a season of football, putting my helmet on, using it all the time, I would shave my head, straight up. There's no doubt in my mind. The beard, I'm thinking I might keep it. There's a shitload of guys down there with beards, and I'm like, man, I do like that look, And I think, if I shaved everything off, top and bottom, I think it would be too much. So for now, we're going to keep the hair, but I tell you what, if I do play, or I do have to put that helmet on, there's no way I'm having long hair. And I don't know, I might be able to put a skull cap on to keep it out of my eyes. That might be an idea, but it was just ridiculous. It was fucking all the way up bottom of my helmet, and when it gets dry, it's just afro and didn't look good. Anyways, that was my hair. Let's talk about the fucking football. The footballs they used, college footballs with the stripes on it. I don't know if they were old, they obviously were, but fuck, they were slippery. We started training, we started doing some drills, we did some warm-ups, and after that we split off into our groups. Offensive, defensive, you've got receivers, running backs, linemen, linebackers, blah blah blah. So I ended up going with the second team. This team, Monash, has two teams, an A team and a B team. There's a B team called the Barbarians. I decided to go with the Barbarians, but to go with the receivers. So I decided, you know what, man, I'm just going to go receiver. I'm just going to try and catch the ball, run some routes. I don't want to confuse myself too much, and I had been looking at the route tree earlier in the day. So I thought, fuck it, I'll go receiver. We started doing warm-ups, we started doing a few drills. The first one we did, which sort of, it's obviously a very basic drill. I mean, I'm sure you guys do this thing all the time, it's just the first time I'd have to deal with it. You've got one guy here, running through like that. This guy is running through on my side, okay? The ball is over here. This is the quarterback throwing it in. I'm running this way, my other man's running this way. As I run, and as we cross, he has to try and distract me from catching the ball. So he runs in front of me, the ball gets thrown, he's not allowed to touch it, but what that means is that I've got to catch the ball after it goes through him or past his hands or whatever. And just that little bit of interference, or a little bit of, an obstacle in front of you really puts you off. Crazily. So, I actually caught all of them. I caught all the balls. I just had faith. I went for it. Even though this guy has his hand in front of it, I'm just like, fuck it. I'll trust my gut. I'll go for the ball. And lo and behold, I caught it. So we ran through that a few times. We also did one where both players are on this side. If I'm catching the ball, I'm on the outside. He's on my inside, but he's like a corner trying to just bug me. He's just trying to hold on to me, just trying to distract me so that it's harder for me to catch the ball. Which basically means that as the receiver, you've just got to try and brush him off, basically. So it's just a bit of a distraction, and that was fun. And I caught the balls, and it was all good. And then we did one where we had two lines of receivers here. We had a cone here and a defender. So each receiver would take a turn. We'd go one from this side, one from this side. We'd run up to the cone, turn around, catch the ball from the quarterback, and then spin around and go again. So if you ran from this side, you'd run up, catch the ball, and then spin around this way. Or if you ran from this side, you'd run up, turn around, catch the ball, and then keep going. So it's sort of like a little curl route, and then, you know, trying to step that defender and then continue down the field. So after that, we moved into some scrimmages. Well, not scrimmages, but some just, you know, snaps, some plays. So, I mean, I know what a slant is, I know what a fade is, I know what a post is, I know what an in route, I know what a curl is, all that stuff. So I said, you know what, line me up, tell me where to go, and we'll do it. So we come into the huddle. There's too many receivers, so basically once you get tired, you run a few snaps, you just say sub, the next guy goes in. And everyone knows the plays, so they call a play, they go boom, sweet, everyone goes out to their mark, they call it, hut, and go. I didn't know where to go, so basically someone was telling me every single time. I probably had about 10, 15 snaps. Wide out, I wasn't a slot receiver, I was a wide out, on the left and on the right. And I did a mixture of fade routes, which was basically just try and beat my man, beat my corner, and then just go and look for the ball after about 20 yards, 25 yards. I did a couple of slants, 3 steps, then a 45, and I injured myself twice. Okay, so one time I did a fade route. I just did a little shimmy, then just turned around. Obviously the quarterback was spying his other receivers who he usually fired it off to, but this time it was my ball. So I turned around and he fucking fired off like a 45-yard bomb, and I tried to adjust myself. I'm like, fuck, alright, shit. Okay, here it is, it's coming. You know, and the thing is, man, the way that ball flies through the air, if you haven't, you know, the ball, we have a saying in rugby, the ball always travels faster than the man. So if you're spreading it out wide, you know, don't try and run with the ball to try and beat someone. Just pass it, because it does. Physics. The ball travels faster than the man, and that's what happens with the ball, you know, through the air. So to actually pace yourself and slow down enough, just enough at the right time to then just catch it right on your chest, I didn't do by any means. So at the last minute, I tried to reach for it, and it jammed my thumb. So I got a jammed thumb, and of course, you know, I just ran it off. I didn't really tell anyone, but I mean, the reality is that a few hours later it was fucking throbbing. So I iced it, and it's actually come right. It's not too bad. It's a bit thick, but you know, we'll live. So that was one injury. The second one was they told me to run a slant, okay? But really what they should have told me to run was a post. So the quarterback thought I was running a post, which was I was on the left, I was running up probably, 10 steps and then going straight across to that far right post. Whereas I was actually told to do a slant, so I did 3 steps and then started going 45 degrees. Obviously the quarterback thought that I thought that was a post. He threw the throw and it was way over my head. And that's because I was running the complete wrong line. But at the last minute, even though the ball was way over my head, I was like, fuck it, I'm going to try and catch it anyway. So I tried to jump. I jumped up, like, obviously with the weight distribution was different, the helmet, the pads, all that shit. Anyway, I just went flying face first into the ground, and I scraped my knee along the ground. And I didn't realize until I got back that I'd fucking skinned it really badly. So it was bleeding and shit, but you know, that's what football's all about. So I got a jammed thumb, I got a scraped knee. My ego was intact. I got to say, my ego was intact at the end of it. I was confident. I was confident I could do what I needed to do if I was told what to do properly. And you know what? Lo and behold, I think I did that. So that was the training. So I do want to just mention a couple of things that I did see. I saw at the end, I didn't, you know, as I said, I didn't participate in any scrimmages, but I did watch a couple of the top team scrimmages, offense versus defense. So I saw, like, I think I mentioned this actually, I saw when the running backs went, but you know, I saw top running backs in Australia. I did. I saw 3 of them. There's one, he looks American, but he's got an Australian accent. He literally looks exactly like Kareem Hunt. I'm not even joking. He does. He looks like him. He was rolling around the changing room before going out to training, and I was like, shit, man. He looks like he's in the NFL. No shit. Anyways, got out there. Lo and behold, of course, he's a running back. So I saw him run through a few scrimmages. You know, make the block. As soon as he's done that, he's off running his route. Either that or taking a handoff. You know, these fast feet. I saw some really nice fast feet with the ball still like this. You know, running through that gap, getting past people, not having pulled the ball down to the side, actually still running with the ball like that, which is good. Good to see. It's good to see that people can still move like that with the ball in two hands, which is pretty sick. So I saw three awesome running backs. The first one was Denzel, that American-looking fella. The second guy was a white guy, and you know, I hadn't even seen him run. I literally had not seen him run, but I thought, you know what? I bet you he's a fucking running back, and I bet you he's a gun. I literally hadn't even seen him do anything. It was just intuition. So I asked someone, I was like, what's that guy? Who's that guy? Number 85. And he goes, yeah, that's Whitey. I can't remember what his name was, but his nickname's Whitey. And he's played for Australia as a running back. And I was like, okay. I thought so. And then there was a third running back that they were switching in with. And he was 17 and he's a junior, but he's playing with the men because in juniors, he would just absolutely carve up. So that is one guy that obviously, if he wanted, would be, you know, on track to sort of take his career to America, I suppose. So there was three running backs for me to watch, and I got a whole lot out of it. It was fantastic. I probably watched about, I don't know, 20, 25 snaps, and that was it. So training was over. I started talking and thinking about trying to play on the weekend for the second team. But the more I, talked to people, the more I realized, fuck, this is a pretty intricate game. You know, even the second team, the guys still know exactly what they're doing. I can't play. I can't do it. I don't want to do it to them. I don't want to do it to myself. I can't have someone having to explain something to me every single snap. You know, it's not going to work. So I decided, you know what, I'm just going to take this training for what it was and not try and play and not push for that. So that's what we're doing. Saturday, I am going to watch the A team. So that's tomorrow. The Warriors, and I'm going to see, exactly how they play. I'm going to take my camera down. I'm going to try and video a few snaps. They've been going well. I can't wait to see these running backs, man. See what they can do with the ball. So that is my goal for tomorrow. Sunday, we've got my assessment with Pro Kick Australia, and I've got to say, man, that is the one thing of this whole trip that I'm looking forward to the most. That's the one meeting and the one thing that has the most significance to this whole trip, or to myself right now. The fact that I'm not playing on the weekend just means that this meeting with this Pro Kick Australia is even more important. And I could see myself being a kicker. I could see myself being a punter in the game of football. Punting the ball on special teams and then being that last line of defence, waiting for that guy to get through so I can just fuck him up. That's how I see it happening. So tomorrow, being Saturday, I'm going to take the camera down to the field and we're going to practice some kicks. I've got my football with me. I'm going to practice some drop kicks and some punts, and just get the feel back. I haven't kicked a ball for a few weeks, and I'm going to this assessment. It's like, fuck, I'd be doing myself an absolute disservice if I didn't practice even just a little bit. So that is the plan for tomorrow. And was there anything else? No, there's not. I've literally I've talked about absolutely everything I needed to. And that, my friends, was my first ever experience with a proper American football gridiron training here in Melbourne, Australia. And who knows what it's the start of, but it's not the start of my career, because I won't be playing for these guys unless I move back to Melbourne for next year's season, in which case I want to already be off doing something else, man. I want to be in America by that point. Fingers crossed, man. Pray for me. Pray that my first kick at look guys, I know I can kick the ball. I know I can. If I get a sweet connection, if I get a nice drop onto my foot, I know that I can power it, man. So just pray for me, man. Pray that the first kick I do in front of these coaches is a boomer. I need a fucking boomer. My first kick. That's what I need. That's all I need. I make a good connection that first kick, I'll be sweet for the rest of the time. But to put myself in the best position for that to happen, I need to go and practice on the Saturday. So that's what we're doing. Please, guys, if you want to support, if you like this video, if you want to support me and the channel, please press like. If you want to subscribe, that's even better. We're on a ride now. We're on a roll, we're on a ride, somewhere, somehow, we'll get there. So come along. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.